What's up everybody, I'm Seth Fowler and today I'm counting down the top 10 Puma shoes for 2021. So I've been wanting to make this video for a while because I'm sort of doing a top 10 series of all the major sneaker brands, and I also feel like Puma is one of those brands that always has just such a solid selection of sneakers that are usually all available in stock. And I think especially within sneaker YouTube and like social media accounts that focus on sneakers, Puma isn't as represented as it should be, especially because their quality is so decent and their shoes look so good and are so wearable. So today I'm going to be counting down the top 10 Puma shoes for 2021. This is not an end of the year like top 10 best of list. This is just the top 10 shoes that you can walk into stores right now and pick up from Puma. Some of these shoes are new for this year, some of these shoes are newer models from the last couple years, and some of them are just classics. In fact, the number one shoe on the list is one of their classic shoes. Not trying to give it away, but they did send over a couple pairs for me to unbox. And of course, we'll be getting to that when we get to the number one spot on this list. But first, I want to give a huge thank you to Puma and Footlocker for sponsoring today's video. While yes, this is a sponsored video, this list is in no way provided by Puma. These are all my own personal picks, and they were nice enough to send over a pair of my number ones for me to check out and for me to show you guys. So without further ado, let's jump right into the top 10 Puma shoes of 2021. Starting off at number 10, we've got a brand new Puma model called the Puma Disc Rebirth basketball shoe. As you could probably tell from the name of the shoe, this is a new take on the classic Puma disc. And of course, this shoe is completely redesigned to be a modern basketball performance sneaker, and it definitely fits in line with Puma's more modern aesthetic that they're going for. The namesake of the sneaker is of course the disc lacing system, which remains relatively unchanged from the original Puma disc and actually makes lacing up your shoes for the court a little bit more secure and a little bit easier when you're playing ball. In addition to the disc lacing system, you've also got some nice straps which really lock you in place across the midfoot, and you've also got a really great cushioning setup underfoot. In fact, on the Puma Disc Rebirth, Puma uses their brand new and proprietary midsole technology called Pro Foam, which essentially is a very bouncy EVA foam underneath your foot, which helps with impact protection, like if you're coming down from a rebound or if you need that sort of spring in your step. I know this is kind of a cop-out, but my favorite part of the shoe is just the overall aesthetic. I love how modern and futuristic this shoe looks while still incorporating that classic disc technology. And if you want to grab the Puma Disc Rebirth, it is available right now, just like every other shoe on the list is. In fact, you can just walk into the store and pick up a pair for yourself, and the retail price of the Puma Disc Rebirth is $145. Next up, coming in at number 9, we've got the Puma Speed Cat OG Plus. This shoe is designed specifically for motorsport fans. Whether you love F1 racing or you're just a Ferrari fanatic, this shoe is for you. The Puma Speed Cat is specifically designed to be worn while you're racing, and in fact it gives you a very thin midsole so you can really feel the different pedals underneath your foot. Not only that, but the shoe looks fast, which makes sense because it's meant to be worn when you're going fast. And one thing I really like about this particular model is that there's a lot of collaborations with motorsport companies like Ferrari, so if there's a specific brand you like, you should be able to find a pair with that brand's logo on it. I also really like the materials that are used on this shoe. The suedes and the leathers, it all looks very premium and fits with the sort of design aesthetic of a luxury high-end car. I mean, even the outsole of the shoe looks like car-tired tread. The whole shoe is designed to be made for going fast in fast cars. Oh, and actually, before I forget, another detail I really like about this shoe is how far the outsole actually wraps up onto the heel of the shoe. And the reason I like that so much is, I'm sure if you've noticed when driving in a pair of nice sneakers, you always get dirt on the back of the heel, and it's because your heel is laying on the ground when you're pressing the pedals. This shoe actually makes it much easier to keep your shoe looking fresh because the outsole wraps up onto the back of the heel, and it also makes it easier to press the pedals because there's a nice curve that kind of allows you to sort of ease into the movement of pressing the pedals. It's an all-around great shoe if you're a car fanatic or you're into racing, and you can pick up a pair for yourself right now for just $100. Next up at number 8, we've got the Puma Suede Mid 21. This shoe is essentially the mid-top version of the classic Puma Suede, and I've got to say it is one of my absolute favorite shoes on the list. I'm a huge fan of mid-top sneakers, and the Puma Suede is like one of those classic looks that you really can't beat. I mean, even to this day, in 2021, the Puma Suede Mid is a shoe that you can rock in pretty much any situation. It's clean, it's simple, the materials are very high quality, and it's got a great price point. Obviously, you could have guessed that the materials used on the upper of the shoe are suede because the name of the shoe is the Puma Suede, but it's one of those materials that just always looks good and seems to work with pretty much any outfit. And man, that simple dual-tone look between the white midsole and Puma logo and then whatever color you choose for the upper of your shoe, it just always looks clean and always looks solid. And like I mentioned, the Puma Suede Mid's price point is solid. It's just $80, which is a really great price for a really great pair of everyday shoes. Coming in at number 7, we've got the Puma Mirage Tech sneakers. So from what I can tell, all the Puma Mirage Tech sneakers are vegan friendly. The entire sneaker comes with newer and more tech heavy materials, no standard leathers on the shoe to be found. And of course, not only is the Mirage vegan and friendly, but it's also a really good looking shoe. I mean, I know it's called the Mirage Tech sneaker, but it really looks like it's from the future. It's a crazy looking shoe. As far as comfort, this shoe is very lightweight and very breathable because of the mesh and textile materials used on the upper. In my opinion, it's just a solid all-around sneaker that looks really good and comes in at a very affordable price point of just 90 bucks. Coming in at number 6, we've got one of my favorite shoes on the list, the Puma Future Rider. I guess all of the shoes are kind of my favorite shoes on the list because they're in the list, and it's a top 10 list, which means it's like the top 10 best. I don't know. The Future Rider is a retro running sneaker inspired look. Classic running sneakers are really hot right now, so it makes sense that Puma decided to create their own new take on the classic look. The shoe features a very clean and simple look, utilizing textiles and leathers on the upper, and of course a very large Puma logo running across the midfoot. One of my favorite details on the shoe is like the plastic plug detail that's kind of pressed into the heel counter and almost acts as a heel counter on the shoe itself. It's such a nice little touch that like calls back to classic running sneakers, but also is a much more modern take on that look, which I guess the entire shoe is kind of that. It's a modern take on that classic look. But in my opinion, it's the little details found throughout the shoe that really make it as good as it is. I also really love the sort of dimpled and flat outsole. I think it's such a cool look. It definitely is a nice callback, and it really simplifies the overall look of the shoe. But even though the look of this shoe is based off of retro style and honestly somewhat uncomfortable sneakers, the shoe itself is modern and features a very nice cushioning system, both in the midsole with that really nice soft foam and also in the very well padded upper. And the best part is you can pick up the Puma Future Rider right now for just 80 bucks. Next up at number 5, we've got the Puma RS Fast. In the same way that the Puma Future Rider is sort of a reimagining of classic running sneakers from the 80s and 90s, the Puma RS Fast is a reimagining of mid-2000s sneakers. And what I love about this shoe is that it incorporates that sort of bulky sneaker style from the mid-2000s without actually being a bulky shoe. It's actually a very sleek and streamlined look, and even though it's got a ton of different paneling on the upper, which personally I love, it all comes together really nicely and forms a very nice overall shape. Not only that, the Puma RS Fast is also an extremely comfortable sneaker. It features a very soft midsole as well as a very well padded upper. And if you don't love the colorway that I'm showing on screen, you can also grab this shoe in a much simpler and monochromatic look, which actually completely changes the overall aesthetic of the shoe. The Puma RS Fast is a very versatile silhouette that's very comfortable on foot and comes in at just 110 bucks. Following that up at number 4, we've got the Puma RSX. So the Puma RSX is actually a very similar sneaker to the RS Fast, which makes sense because it's still in that RS running system family. But what I like just a little bit more than the RS Fast on the RSX is that the overall design aesthetic of the shoe is just a little bit simpler. And not to say that there's anything wrong with the crazy paneling in the RS Fast, but if you prefer a more toned down silhouette overall, the RSX is definitely the way to go. The RSX has also been out a little bit longer, which means that it's got more colorways available, so no matter which color you're looking for, you should be able to find a pair in the RSXs. And just like the RS Fast, the RSX comes with a comfortable midsole underfoot and a very well cushioned upper. If you really dig that sort of clean but still kind of bulky street style aesthetic of the RSX, you can grab a pair right now for just 110 bucks. Then coming in at number 3, we've got the PUMA RSDreamer. If you've been following sneakers at all or even just hip-hop culture, you probably know that the PUMA RSDreamer is J. Cole's signature Puma shoe. And what's even crazier is that the PUMA RSDreamer is also an on-court performance basketball sneaker. In my opinion, this shoe might be one of the most versatile shoes on the entire list, and that's because you can go to school or work in the morning wearing the PUMA RSDreamer, and then after that you can actually just go to the basketball court and play in the exact same pair of shoes. The PUMA RSDreamer features a full knit upper with suede overlays, which makes it incredibly lightweight and very premium feeling. Not only that, the chunky midsole also features that pro foam that we talked about earlier on in the video, which means it's very well cushioned underfoot. And as far as Puma sneakers go, if you're looking for a hyped up popular silhouette, the Puma RSDreamer is probably one of the most hyped up and popular shoes that Puma makes. Plus, it looks awesome. It's one of my favorite modern Puma sneakers, and I think it just looks incredible on foot. And you can actually grab a pair right now, but unfortunately not in the original colorway because that's sold out, for a retail price of just 125 bucks. Coming in at number 2, we've got the Puma Clyde All Pro. So this is also a pretty versatile shoe because it's also an on-court basketball performance sneaker, and it also looks very good for lifestyle wear. But in my opinion, as far as basketball performance goes, the Puma Clyde All Pro is kind of in a league of its own. This shoe is honestly a dope basketball sneaker, and it performs really well on court, both indoor and outdoor. In fact, even when you compare this shoe to other performance basketball sneakers from other brands, it's always in the top of the pack. The Puma Clyde All Pro features a full-length EVA midsole underfoot, which again, like a lot lot of the other basketball sneakers on the list, provides you some really great impact protection. Not only that, it also features a really great traction pattern on the outsole, which means it grips the floor very, very well. The shoe also features a propulsion plate in the forefoot, which helps you spring into every step. Personally, one of my favorite features of the shoe is the padded mesh tongue. So even when you crank down on the laces, it doesn't dig into your foot and gives you some really nice cushion on the top of your foot. Plus, it's a low top, and for me, I really prefer low top sneakers when I'm playing basketball because they give me a little bit more range of movement. Oh, and as if all that wasn't enough, it's also just a really great looking shoe. If you play basketball at all, I definitely recommend trying out a pair of the PUMA Clyde All Pros, especially since they're just 130 bucks, and in my opinion, they're the best basketball sneakers Puma has ever made. But now, finally coming in at number 1, we've got the PUMA Classic Suede. And like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, Puma actually sent over 3 different pairs for me to unbox for you guys. So I actually don't know which pair to unbox first, but why don't we go with the one that's not my size and is actually for my wife. So this shoe is the PUMA Suede Classic 21 or XXI Women's, and obviously I grabbed it in a smaller size than my own size. This is one of the cleanest Puma sneakers I think they've ever made, and what I love about this shoe is how versatile it is. So I know I already had the Puma Classic Suede Mids on the list, but in my opinion the low tops are just their own separate thing, and I also think they're a little bit more wearable because they're just more versatile because of the cut. This is one of those shoes you can wear with jeans, you can wear it with shorts, it really goes with everything, and especially in this black and white colorway, I mean, man, you can't get much cleaner than this. So I'm not sure exactly what colorways they sent me. I know this one's obviously for my wife, but I'm hoping that they sent me a pair just like this so we can match. We're cute like that. Oh, sick. Okay, it does look like they sent me a pair to match. Another pair of Puma Classic Suede 21s in the classic black, white, and natural or light tan colorway on the Puma logo. These are super, super clean. These were actually first introduced back in 1968, so these shoes have been around forever, and they obviously have staying power because people are still buying them now in 2021. The best part is you can actually grab a pair of the Puma Classic Suede 21s for yourself right now for just 70 bucks, which in my opinion is a steal, especially because of how nice the quality is. Man, I love these, especially that leather sock liner. Oof. That's nice. But we do have one other pair to unbox. So this one is slightly different. It is still a Puma Suede. It's the Puma Suede Classic, spelled with an X instead of a C at the end. And this shoe comes in a crazy multicolored colorway. Whew, look at this. This is nuts. So this shoe comes in a very similar construction to the shoe that we just looked at. It comes in an all suede upper. Obviously it comes in a mismatching colorway. You've got 2 red toes and of course maroon laces, but the rest of the shoe is kind of sort of a mix up of colors, which I'm actually really into. Like on the right shoe, you've got sort of a light tan colored Puma logo. On the left shoe, you've got a black Puma logo. It's definitely an interesting look. This is one of those shoes that I think would go really well with like a thrifted look or a more out there or 90s aesthetic. And you can actually grab a pair of these right now for just 80 bucks at Footlocker. And you can really wear this shoe with anything. It's never going to go out of style, and I think Puma definitely has a winner when it comes to the classic suedes. It's just such a wearable and good looking shoe. But that wraps up the list for the top 10 Puma shoes of 2021. Now I would love to know your thoughts on this list and whether you'd reorganize the list in any way, and also which shoes you like the best. So make sure to let me know in the comment section down below. Once again, huge thank you to Puma for sponsoring today's video and sending over these awesome sneakers. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you all in the next one.